Hello everyone and welcome to the Poor Boys Cooking Show. Well, got a good treat today. I am attempting to make my mother's sweet potato pie. For those of you that don't know what sweet potato pie is, basically think of pumpkin pie but with some soul. And this is a very good dish. I normally have it every Thanksgiving, but I had to make it now. And let's just say I think it turned out okay. So show you how to make a sweet potato pie. On the scale, poor boy scale of 1 to 5, this is definitely a 1. Simple ingredients, simple to do, simple to find the stuff in the store, and the results are fabulous. So let's go in on how to make sweet potato pie.
Okay, so I was actually going to go to the store and buy a can of sweet potatoes, but the can of sweet potatoes was like $3, and $3 and actually up to $4, and I saw they had the actual sweet potatoes themselves for 69 cents. I did quick math, and there's actually a simple way to do this. So this is a part you don't have to do if you don't want to do it, but if you want like that authentic, real sweet potato way of doing it for the sweet potato pie, this will actually help. So what I did, I got 4 sweet potatoes, and I'm going to do this the way my dad does it. So this is bacon grease. Yes, you can use butter, but my dad, he uses bacon grease, and all you do, you just kind of like, you do what you think. You rub it in. You just want like a light coating. You don't want heavy. It's kind of a light thing on there. And you're gonna do the 4 sweet potatoes, and then you're going to put them in an oven. The oven's preheated to 400 degrees. And it depends on the amount of sweet potatoes, size of sweet potatoes, so it's going to take about 1 hour to 2 hours for them to cook. You want them fork tender, so you want to be able to stick a fork in them and they'll be nice and tender. So we're going to go ahead and put these in the oven, and then when we take them out, show you the next step, and then we'll actually start making the sweet potato pie. Alright, the potatoes are done. They were in actually about 1 hour, 15 minutes. And we're going to peel them and put them in the bowl. We're actually going to need 2 cups of mashed sweet potatoes. There's going to be approximately 3 of these. Could do 4, but 3. Now to peel them, it's it's real simple. Just take it, you just peel them off. They're still a little hot, but you just peel them off the side, and you put them in, and I'm going to mash them up. So let's just peel it off. There's one. Whoops. There's one. There's 2. Whew. 3. Alright, so it's going to depend on the size of the sweet potato, on what's going to constitute it. These were kind of medium. I saw all these medium-sized sweet potatoes. So, like I said, it's just a time factor that causes it to take long. I mean, if you want it authentic, obviously, you're going to want to use this method. But you can use canned and get the same effect. So there's the 3 in here. Alright, using this masher, mash them down. So this masher works good. So mash that in. So now, so like I said, we got that 3rd one, or that 4th one, could have used. We don't need it. So, first thing we do is we're going to need to add a 1/2 cup of butter. Now, this is actually approximately 1/2 cup of butter. Just plop that in. Now, nice thing is, nice and hot. Whoops, sorry, that's probably 1/2 cup of butter. Sorry. It's going to be nice and warm. So, just mix that in, and that's going to get all in there and get all soft and nice with the sweet potato. kind of, mash it around. It's going to take a lot of work. So if you need to do a workout, here you go. This is your workout. Next, and this is fun. Now I make a variation on what was done with this recipe. I actually have, you're supposed to use 2 cups of sugar. I actually use 1.5 cups of sugar and then 1/2 cup of brown sugar. So I use that to make it work well for me, because I want to have that little brown sugar taste. Now what you can tell, and it always happens, you get where you're mixing something, and I thought I had this measured right, but actually once I start doing a little bit of stuff here, it'll get like it should be. Yeah, there we go. There we go. I thought so. So you have to be kind of careful when you're mixing it in. So obviously you may want to use a little bit larger bowl, but this bowl will actually, again, once the things start melting off and coagulating and stuff like that, it'll start getting the way it should be. So see what happens now that it's like you're getting that butter melted and the sugar is melting down. And as I said, the brown sugar is just going to add a little extra stuff to it, just a little extra. So mix this up. And you want this a good consistency, so you just keep mashing and mashing and mashing while it does that. And kind of like, again, with any southern recipe, well, not southern recipe, but just old style recipe, be it southern, be it old Italian, any of them old school Italian or old school recipes, you don't need it all smooth and everything. That's not what made the love part. The love part were the bumps, were the chunks, that's what made you say, hey, Grandma worked hard to make this sucker. So yeah, I could use a modern puree thing and puree this all up and it'll be all nice and smooth, but hey, having it like this works. So now the next thing we're going to add, now we kind of mix that up well with the sugar. Now we add evaporated milk, and this is 1/2 cup of evaporated milk. Now we have the fun thing about 3 eggs. We got to add 3 eggs to this mix. Because, well, whenever you make any stuff like this, you gotta have eggs. It's just the way it goes. So we'll mix these up real quick. And again, it's one of those that looks like it's just gonna go over, but as you start going, it starts doing what it's supposed to do. It starts giving that texture. And you just gotta mix it for that texture. So we'll mix it. And you see it start getting the look it's supposed to get. Just kind of work it in. And there you go. Now it's looking like it should look. Consistency of feel. Yes. Just gonna mix that up some. And then you actually have 2 more things, minor things, and it's still not really the consistency I want, but I'll be there in a bit. So you're going to add a teaspoon and a half, actually 2. I was going to do a teaspoon and a half, but I like vanilla, so 2 teaspoons of vanilla and a teaspoon and a half of cinnamon. Do a teaspoon and a half of cinnamon, which if you do 1 heaping teaspoon, that should actually do it for you. And that's the hard part. Now you just mix this up. Again, kind of doing it slowly. Let it kind of work its stuff in, and once it's all in, then you can kind of go faster. So I'll slowly. Going in there, and you'll see it's happier, happier, happier. There we go, yeah. And you just mix it up. And now you're going to mix it up to where everything kind of looks good. Because right now it's nice and thick. It's a good thick texture. Everything's all set. We'll make sure your cinnamon and your vanilla and everything else is all mixed up in here. Your eggs and everything else. You'll mix this up a bit, maybe, just a few minutes to make sure it's all good. And then we get to the part where all the wafer. Now that is actually enough for 2 pies. We're not going to use 2 pies, obviously. We're going to use 1. So let's see. So all we got to do is take this, and we're going to take a pie crust. So we're going to do this. Okay, so we keep mixing and mixing this, and now we have our pie thing. Now this is actually going to make more than 1 pie crust, or more than 1 pie. So we're going to actually take the rest and we're going to save it for later. But what we do, we have our pie tin, and we're going to take and get I'll get a little over a cup actually in here. It's probably going to be closer to 2 cups. We're going to just take this and throw it in. Sorry, mix it in. And we're going to let it to where the pie, it's going to go about halfway up the pie. So actually, let's make this a little bit cleaner. And we love doing it. We love doing it the nice way here. So we pour it in. There we go. So now we've got enough to save for later. And we've got our 1 pie. And we're going to put this pie into the oven. And it's going to cook for about an hour. Put it in. And when we're done, we'll have ourselves a nice sweet potato pie. And when you take it out of the oven, there is the sweet potato pie. All nice and golden brown. Yes, that was the pie. And the great thing about it is with the sweet potato pie, because it gives you basically 2 servings, you have the other one in the freezer, and then when you're ready to make sweet potato pie again, you just pull that bad boy out, let it thaw for about 30 minutes, pour it in the shell, put it in the oven, and you've got a pie very quickly. I've got my extra in the oven, in the freezer right now, and believe me, in a few weeks, I will be having myself some more sweet potato pie. So that's it for this time of the Poor Boy Cooking Channel. So be back when we have more recipes on the cheap.